You do not have to be into pop culture in order to find things to sell on eBay, Etsy, and other platforms for a great profit. If you feel like all this pop culture stuff is way too much for you to wrap your head around, I'm going to give you 5 things that you can look for when you're out at thrift stores and garage sales that you can pick up, usually for pretty cheap, and flip for a good profit on eBay. If this is the first time you've seen one of my videos, welcome. My name is Margaret. I have been reselling for over 10 years and making videos all about it. And one of my passions is making videos to share with you how to do this as well, because I am of the belief that there is enough out there for everybody to make money on, whether you're trying to do this as a side hustle, just to make some extra money, or if you're really wanting to ramp this up and make it something full-time. So I decided to make this video because I got a comment on my last video sharing, I'm really impressed with all of your knowledge of pop culture. And I felt like this is something that you maybe don't have to be super into in order to understand and look for when you're out at garage sales, which is one of the places that I find tons of stuff for super cheap. So today I'm going to share with you 5 things that you can be looking for, and then slowly you can start learning and adding on to that as you are progressing with your reselling business. The first thing I want you to write down is Wii. So I want you to look for anything Wii related, and I have a couple of reasons for this. Wii came out before a lot of the virtual reality headsets came out, so it was one of the first platforms where people could get really active with their video gaming, and they don't make Wii anymore. I found this out the hard way because when we moved, I got rid of our Wii system thinking, you know what, I can replace this. I see it out at garage sales all the time, which actually I do. And so when I wanted to pull the Wii out again, my kids were asking for it, and it was something we could all do together as a family. I didn't have it anymore. So I did start going out looking for one for me, and then also started finding others while I was out garage selling. I knew already that there were some Wii games that could sell, but then this past weekend I went out and I got a whole big lot of Wii stuff for $35. Well, technically $33 because that's all I had in my wallet. And I was so grateful because I got a Wii gaming system, the controls, 2 different guitars for Guitar Hero, tons of stuff, a Wii balance board, the whole 9 yards, plus a whole stack of Wii games. So let me show you what to look for. I knew about Wii Sports selling. Wii Sports oftentimes doesn't even have a case. It'll come in a little envelope like this. And every time I've had them, I've sold them very quickly. So Wii Sports, a good one. And as you can see here, I have this sorted by sold over $25. And I'm going to take that off in just a moment to show you that it doesn't have to be just over $25. There are things for less, but it's one of the things I like to look for. Is there enough stuff over $25? And then how much of the stuff am I looking at under $25? That's like, there's way too much flooded for cheaper, but I want to make sure that there's enough stuff that if I were to chance it, that I would be able to make some money off of it. So I'm seeing Guitar Hero. I don't usually sell lots, but you can totally, like, I found this lot. This is not my sold, but the lot that I just found, if I chose to sell it, then I could definitely lot it up. But you'll see here, like this is the little grape part right there. That's like a little sensor. And even that by itself can sell. So you could part this out, say somebody I just need the controllers. I just need the sensor. Guitar Hero guitar for $30. So as I scroll down, you can see there are prices, 30s, 40s. Here's the whole system for $100. And, Wii Sport Resort, that's another one that sells really, really well. But so here's Wii U. We actually got rid of our Wii U too. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm looking for a Wii U. I know I could go online and buy it, but I know that I'm going to find it at a garage sale or at a thrift store. So I'm waiting because I know I can find one. And gosh, do I kick myself for getting rid of it. So as you can see, not only the controllers, the games, the whole gaming system, because you can't get it new anymore. And I actually do have this. This was in the lot of the stuff that I got too. The great thing about it too was the guy that sold me it all, he still had the boxes for everything. So I had the boxes for all the guitars, the boxes for the wheels, the steering wheels. He was like, oh, I got the boxes in the house. You think you want them? I was going to throw them out. I'm like, yes, I will take them, because if my kids decide they don't want to play Guitar Hero, then I will sell it. So I think you get the picture with Wii. I also wanted to come up and take this filter off just so you can see, for transparency, like how much stuff is actually selling that's also under that price, because I think it's a good rule of thumb. You want to have that Wii on your radar, but you also want to show some caution, like, is this going to be one of those over $35 things, or is this going to be something that's $15? For me, I don't mind $15, especially if I get it for cheap, but I want you to be able to see like how much stuff there really is out there. So you can see here, just from this over $25 unsold, in the last 3 months, 61,000 sales. So that's a lot of Wii items being sold for over $25. Let's take this off and see what this number changes to, and also some of the items that we're going to find that ended recently for Wii. I've taken off that price point filter and look at what it jumped to. 160,000 solds in the last 3 months for Wii. Let that sink in. That's a whole lot of sales. So scrolling down, and this I have it sorted by ended recently, you can see just the first few sales over $30. Scrolling again, here's that Wii Sport, just the disc, almost $20. Scrolling down again. I mean, I'm not seeing a whole lot that's even just under $20. Okay, here's Adventure Camp sold for $7.55. I might not make that sale, but if I had a whole big lot of Wii stuff, which I did get, then I might consider, you know what, I'm just listing all of these games. I might as well just throw it up there and get a few bucks off of it. No big deal to me, right? If this was the only game I was standing at a garage sale and was like, oh, this Cabela's Adventure Camp game is the only one they've got and they're selling it for $1, and would I pick it up? Probably not. But if I'm getting that, like I said, that whole big lot with games and all of everything for like $30-something, yeah, throw it in there. I'll pop it up on eBay, make a few bucks off of it. As I'm scrolling down, again, everything I'm seeing is right around $20 or more. Again, we talked about the games, if it's in a big lot, great. If it's for $1, probably not, but that's okay. So Wii U, definitely put that on your list of things to pick up when you're at garage sales. And here's that sensor I was telling you about. You could have that in your whole big lot, or if you wanted to sell it by itself, it is selling also just parted out by itself. The next thing that I want you to be looking for is Thomas & Friends, especially the wooden trains, wooden tracks, things like that. It is something that, since my kids were little, before my kids were little, kids before my kids, this is something that is tried and true. Kids love it. It's really super fun for little kids. Older kids still enjoy it. And it is the Thomas & Friends railway and trains. I remember when my kids were younger and they really got into it. We had the train table. We had tons of train tracks. It felt like for every Christmas or birthday, we were getting another accessory for the train system, more trains, some of the little battery operated ones that could pull the other trains around the track. It went on for quite a while, longer than you might think. So I wanted to share with you some of the Thomas & Friends trains and things to be looking for. It's something I have to remind myself of because I feel like I see it all the time, but I don't always pick it up. So it's something to definitely look for. I have started us with over $35, completed listings and sold, 2,000 results in the last 90 days. So when I'm looking at this, I'm seeing some of the single trains for sure can sell. Who's this one? I don't know. I used to know all their names. Is that Douglas? I can't remember. I think Douglas is black though. All right, so there's Henry. Okay, he was $125, but took a best offer on that one. Here's the $79.99 for Thomas. I think this is a special one though. It says error on it, so I wouldn't think every Thomas is going to sell for $80. There's no way for that. So here's the Kohl's station and a few other accessories. I know we had this. We had a different crane too, one Cranky the crane. I remember that one. So even some of just the accessory pieces that go with the train track can sell. And I thought I had this sorted by pre-owned. So I'm going to select used on this because most likely the things you'll find at a garage sale or at a thrift store is going to be used. So if you find something new, definitely snap it up. Oh, we had this. It was the refill station and the little stop sign. So if you find those two, $35 on that. And again, you can see just random trains, depending on what they are, can sell $30, $40 and on up. We had the shed. I'm looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, all this stuff that I probably just handed over to a friend or something like that. Like, oh, I could have sold that for $80. I could have sold that for $60. I could have, would have, should have, right? All right, so here's somebody you can tell by their background. They are most likely focusing on a lot of train stuff because they've got a nice little train background for their images. So that's a nice consistent thing to put through those photos. I think you're getting the picture here. And then again, somebody just, here's you pick your own. I don't know how that works, and you can see this guy, like he's even really chippy. Some of the paint chips are messed up. It's not in pristine condition. He's definitely in played with condition. Still selling for $200. That one sold for $50. So not just the trains, but also the buildings, the tracks, etc. Let's go back up and take off this over $35 because there are going to be some that sell for under $35. And again, if it's a big lot that I'm buying, that I'm parting out, some of the pieces are worth $30, some are worth $50, some are worth $15. I'm fine with that. Would I spend $1 to go sell something for $7? Probably not. Let's take a look now that I've taken that parameter off. We're looking at over almost 10,000 sales in the last 90 days. And right away, I am seeing some that are on the lower end. This is where you have to decide for yourself, like I said, if you're buying it in a big lot, are you willing to put something up for sale for $11 or $12? I usually would. Would I buy something for $1 or $2 that I know I'm only going to make $8 to $10 on? Not usually. I would like to make more than that, but if I am looking for things to sell and I'm struggling, then that might be something I'm willing to do, especially when it's something like this. It's so easy to take a photograph of, but that's something that for your business, you would have to decide if that's something you're willing to do. Now, like I said, I keep on repeating myself, but I mean it. Like if I got a big lot, I don't mind posting it for, $15 or so. But even as I scroll through, I don't see a ton of things that are under that $15 mark. There are a few, but for the most part, most of the things I'm seeing are $20 or more. Here's $54.99, $24.99, $79. We looked at that one earlier. This guy's $10, $17.99. We had this train. This little bridge. So, almost $15 on that. It's something to definitely keep an eye out for. I think also something that I would do if I were selling a lot, like I had a whole lot of Thomas & Friends, is that there's a way in your eBay store to give bulk price discounts. So you can put that parameter on your eBay store. Let's say if I was going to buy from this seller one of these, the soap car. Oh, you know what? It's only $10. Oh, the seller is offering if you buy 2 or more things, you get 10% off, 15% off, 3 or more, you get 20% off. And that might encourage a buyer to say, buy multiple of those train cars from you because the train cars are at a cheap price. And with the bulk pricing, you can get a discount. The next thing I want you to look for is Pokémon, and it's specifically Pokémon plush, because I'm really trying to get you to hone in because I tell you now, I don't know anything about Pokemon cards. Will I buy them? Yes, because my son likes to play with them. So I'll buy Pokemon cards if they're cheap, but I know nothing about selling them. It's like baseball cards. They can be worth a ton of money, but also condition has a lot to do with it. And that to me seems super overwhelming. Now though, in the digital age and the AI and the scanning, I could probably swing it, but I just have not gotten there. But if I can hone in on just the plush, let's just talk Pokemon plush, because you've been to the garage sale. They've just got all this plush thrown into a cardboard box. Dig through, see if you see any Pokemon ones. And what you will see, usually they're labeled Pokemon. They usually look like some weird animal creature if you're not sure what Pokemon look like. But you can always look at the tag and they usually say Pokemon on them. But let's take a look. Once again, over $35 and almost 9,500 sold in the last 90 days. Let's take a look at what we've got here. So I don't know the name of a lot of these. So I know Pikachu, and that's probably the one that you'll see a lot of, Pikachu. So it looks like there are quite a few Pikachu. Probably, here he's got like a special outfit on. He's kind of cute. His name's Quagsire. So I don't know. I've never seen this guy before. I have no idea what he is. But as you can see, there's quite a few and they're pretty cute that are for a good price, that are selling for a good price. These all look like they're from the same seller. I'm seeing from Thailand. But so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select use. I'm also going to sort by North America or US. Here we go. So you can see again, Pikachu, this is Eevee. I don't know all their names, but in the 30s, 40s, and so on up, just look at their little tag. Let's click on this guy and see if they show the tag. That way you can see what the tag, do they show the tag on this one? Maybe they don't. Well, you can kind of see the tag there. It says Pokémon Center or something like that. But usually they will say Pokemon. How do I close out of this? Let me find another one so I want to show you the tag. So this Pokemon Magikarp sold for $140. Let's see what his tag looks like if they take a picture of the tag. There we go. Pokemon Center. So you can see there is the Pokemon Center tag on that one. Sometimes the tag will just say Pokemon on it, which is also fine. Just out of curiosity, I want to go to highest priced first and see, so you can see like how much these can really go for. I know this one says $20,000, but I'm not super sure about that. I like to see, like, I know there a lot of people say, oh, people do this to like money laundering or what have you. It's a scam, whatever. But what I look for when I'm looking at these higher priced ones, I like to see, is there the same one repeating? Then I know, okay, this is something that it's not just a random weird thing. Like here's Charizard. Well, it's the same person, Charizard. So question mark, I don't know. But here's two. They're from different sellers, right? Oh, $500, $500. Natu is this little birdie's name. I don't know that I would have known that. I would not have known that. I'll just put that out there. I feel like I saw this one again. So that one I saw before. There it is, right there, for over $400. So it's worth digging through that box of plush to see if you're finding anything worth a lot of money in there. So coming up, taking off this $35 with ended recently, there are 7,200 sold in the last 90 days. And before I had it sorted by $35 and over. And even just within the ended recently, everything is $20 or more so far. There are a couple here that are below that. I, again, wouldn't probably sell it for that price. As I'm seeing this, as I'm scrolling through, yes, I see some that are way below what I would sell them for or sell at all. Generally, I wouldn't sell something for $4, but that's just me. But everything else I'm seeing is within a range that I would probably sell, like $15, $16, $16. Overall, the ones that I'm seeing that are sold are still selling for a fairly good profit depending on what you bought it for. A lot of times at garage sales, either the plush are free or they're in a box and they say, $1 or 50 cents or a couple dollars. And that would be worth it to me to buy something for $1 and sell it for $20, $15, because that's a good $10 to $15 profit. The next item is Monster High dolls. Monster High dolls are kind of like Barbie-sized dolls, and they usually have something funky about them, like they're vampires or they're zombies or they have some horror feature to them. So in the last 90 days, 6,700 sold. And my filters that I have here, over $35. I did put used because there were also a lot of new, because they are very collectible. Some people have them still new in box and they'll sell them like that. But most likely, if you find them at a thrift store garage sale, it's going to be used. So I wanted to narrow that down. Still quite a few sold in 90 days. Let's take a look. I see this girl with the purple skin, $60. It looks like even some of the accessories and replacement parts can sell. I'm looking at stuff like this because it looks like somebody, I found it at a garage sale. I'm going to sell it, $55. Clearly, there are some people that are doll sellers. They have cool doll stands and they I mean, this person, they've got it behind a notebook, but that's okay. It's still sold for $130, right? There are quite a few that you can see, replacement parts and arms that sold for $40. It's pretty cool. So there's a lot of stuff. So if you're seeing Monster High dolls out there, it's worth taking a look at, especially say you find a bunch of them and someone's like, just take them all for XYZ price, and then you can sell them in that way. Let's take off this over 35 and see, how low does this go? Is it all Monster High dolls, or can I just pick up anything? So now we have these 3 filters used, completed, and sold, and we're looking at 19,000 sales in the last 90 days. But straight off the bat, I'm seeing some pretty low end prices. $2.99, $6.99, I'm not going to list stuff for that. $9.99 maybe. So as I'm looking, it's definitely something that I am going to make sure that if I'm picking it up, if it's the only thing, if it's the only Monster High piece that I'm getting, that I'm going to make sure it's something that's going to sell for a lot. But it looks like a lot of times the dolls themselves seem to be a pretty safe bet. $11.99 maybe a little bit low, but here I'm seeing about $30, about $15. That's just for the jacket. Probably not going to do that. $25, $65. Okay, so the dolls perhaps, if it's just the accessories and stuff like that, maybe not. But I'm seeing multiple things here that are selling, $8.99, nah, probably not. But $15, $30, that's something I would do. So I feel pretty comfortable saying, look for those Monster High dolls. And again, if it's just the one thing, look it up. This next one is super saturated, but I wanted to talk about it because there's real money to be made in pop figures. There are a lot of people collecting them. The market is saturated with them, but I wanted to bring it up because if you see them, it is so worth checking them out. This, again, I have sorted by over $35, and there are 7,200 sold in that price range. When we click this off in a minute, I fully anticipate this to jump, but there are going to be some that are way lower and way higher than $35. And I did take I put minus lot right here because a lot of times people lot them up, so you'll see a big bunch of them. But I wanted you to look at individuals to start with. And the pop figures are in all genres. Some are sports, some are video games, some are characters, some are actors. I mean, it feels like if there is anything, if it's standing still long enough, they're going to make a pop figure out of it. But as you can see, there are some that are definitely worth a lot of money. Lord of the Rings, UFC, WWE, I don't even know. Lots and lots and lots of them. Psycho, Bob's Burgers. So it would be hard for me to say to you, definitely look for Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, because some of them are going to sell well, some of them are not going to sell well. So it does look like Bob's Burgers might be a good one. Pokemon, again, there's a ton of them. There's a Ralph Macchio signed one. I'm going to FanFest soon. Maybe I should take some to get signed, right? Then, yeah, loose ones. Usually the loose ones don't sell for as much as the ones with the box. But hey, here's this one, whatever that thing is, has sold for $58. I would say with pop figures at garage sales, thrift stores, scan them and look them up and see if they're worth it. I was at a garage sale. I don't know if I got this on camera or not. I don't think I did. But I was at a garage sale. The guy was pulling out all of his pop figures. And I asked him, well, how much for these? Because I was looking at a couple Star Wars one, General Grievous. And he looked them up right in front of me. Oh, and on Amazon, it's selling for $30. On eBay, it's selling for $25. So what do you say, $15? And I was like, no, thank you. I was, I didn't say more than that, but no, thank you. Look at that Deadpool Cthulhu. Holy moly, $220. I want to sort by highest so you can see that there are some that sell for a lot of money. There are some that sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And again, I like it when I can see multiples of the same one. That shows me that it's not just a fluke, like a one-off. I'm seeing a lot that were autographed. But here's one. I see 2 of the same that have sold for over $500, $600. I don't even know what that is. Brooke from something. I don't know what that is. But it doesn't matter. I don't have to know what that is. So pop figures, keep an eye out. But I did want to show you when I take this off, it's going to jump. So in the last 90 days, almost 50,000 pop figures have sold. Let's see how much under $35 they are selling for. So on Ended recently, I'm seeing about $20, $50, and $37. Then as I scroll, like $3, $7, probably not going to do that. But there are quite a few still that are in the $20, $25 range, $15. But I would say as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing quite a few that are in a range that I would be comfortable selling with, which for me would be $15 or more. Would I like more than $15? Of course I would. But is it something I would sell? Absolutely. With the prices being more broad ranged with the pop figures, I would say definitely look it up at the garage sale and the thrift store. And if you're not comfortable looking things up at a garage sale, then I would say a rule of thumb might be to, if the person asks, why are you looking it up or what are you doing, then just say, I just want to make sure I can't get it cheaper online, which is not a lie. You are looking to see, like, I don't want to pay $15 for a pop figure at a garage sale that's selling for $8 on Amazon or eBay. So it's not a lie if you're telling them, I just want to make sure it's not selling for cheaper online. I really hope that this video broadened your horizons into looking into some of these other pop culture things that you can definitely sell for a good price. These are all things that I think are easily found at garage sales and thrift stores, and that I'm hoping you can go out and dip your toes into and try selling these for yourself. Let me know if you've sold any of these or any other pop culture type items that you like to sell down in the comments below. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you for hanging out. Bye.